to see Mommy like this, were you? Oh, how exciting. Welcome to Dream Corridor Productions.
Today we're bringing Mommy Longlegs to life through the power of cinema. Hey everybody, my name is Alexander Griffin and I'm the owner, CEO, and creative director of Dream Corridor Productions. Today we're going to be revisiting Poppy Playtime yet again with Mommy Longlegs.
Experiment.
Now this video has been months in the making and I am so excited to be able to finally showcase it to y'all with Mommy Longlegs. So in my recent videos, I brought Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy to life through the power of cinema in their scenes during Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 and 2 respectively. But then I said to myself, you know, a Poppy Playtime series on filmmaking just would not be complete without Mommy Longlegs. And I also got this doll from the official Poppy Playtime store, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. So I gotta admit, I've been wavering back and forth on which scene to be able to recreate in real life with Mommy Longlegs, but after a while of looking back through the scenes in Chapter 2, I actually came across this one. Now this scene is one you might not expect. It's when Mommy Longlegs is against the window in the musical memory scene. It's not really when she's talking, it's not even when she's moving towards us, but it is still an interesting scene nonetheless, and one that I think I could really add a little bit of cinematic flavor to. And in fact, I referenced this very shot in my playthrough of Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, saying,
I love how look at Mommy, she's just staring.
Now I gotta admit that was a really funny moment looking back on it, but then I thought to myself, though, that's an interesting scene, not one that really stands out when I think of Mommy Longlegs. So I thought, why not give it a try, and why not put my own spin on it? So let's give it a go.
So here's the game plan. Surprise, surprise, I still don't own an entire abandoned toy factory to film in, so I'll just make do with what I have. So I'm gonna be using a black cloth backdrop with Mommy Longlegs in the middle, hanging upside down monkey bar style from a microphone stand extended outwards. Behind Mommy Longlegs and to her right, to us our left, is a singular LED light shining down on her to separate her from the background. In front of Mommy Longlegs and to her left, to us our right, is the Chauvet 4-bar LTBT using an auto color preset to alternate between the colors in the musical memory game. And to capture it all is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. So here's the shot I have set up. Mommy Longlegs is hanging upside down and on the right hand side of the shot, so in post, I can add a reflection of the musical memory gameplay as if she's actually being pressed up against the window glass inside the scientist's office. Now I don't have the background set up as the office, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just gonna keep it simple. I use the Chauvet OB40 DMX console to program the 4-bar LTBT to a specific auto color preset with a set speed similar to that of the pacing within the musical memory game. Now the camera is set up for this shot at 24 frames per second, a 48th shutter speed, ISO 100, and an f-stop of 15. We have a white balance of 4500K with a tint of 15. And like I did in both tutorials before this, I used my Canon EFS 18-55mm lens on my Blackmagic camera with a focal length of approximately 20mm. Now I didn't really do much for this shot as I wanted to make sure Mommy Longlegs stayed as still as possible, and we'll see why later. However, this wasn't a one-take scenario like the other tutorials were. We were actually going to take multiple shots. I set up my camera to zoom in even closer with the same settings as before, except the f-stop changed to 16, and I used a focal length of approximately 35mm. Having multiple different shots of Mommy Longlegs with her filling the frame in different capacities helps her to literally and metaphorically grow within the shot, making her a more terrifying entity. But I didn't stop there. I even made a third shot to really sell the effect. I used the same settings as the second shot, but I changed the focal length to about 40mm and brought the camera closer to Mommy Longlegs. Having this be the final shot in the sequence would bring the viewer right up close to Mommy Longlegs' head, connoting that her massive eyes are watching our every move. I was inspired to add some exposition to this sequence, so I also took a shot of this rotating police siren light that I won at Six Flags. I wanted this to serve as a sort of warning or starting light, alerting anyone nearby that the musical memory game was starting. This wasn't actually in Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, but this was just another way for me to add cinematic flavor to this sequence. Then in post, I took the Blackmagic raw files into Adobe Premiere Pro and selected parts of the clips where there was minimal to no shake in the shot. I went into the Lumetri color window and tweaked the color profile of the shot to slightly lower the temperature and give it a slight magenta tint. I upped the saturation to add to the effect that the lights from the 4-bar were giving, furthering the idea that this was actually inside the musical memory game. For good measure, I also upped the exposure, the contrast, and the highlights, and I lowered the shadows. With the color grading complete, I needed something to really make the sequence pop. No pun intended. So I asked my good friend and fellow voice actress to help me out in recording a short voiceover for Mommy Longlegs, not only to add to the effect, but so that I could actually animate Mommy Longlegs' eyes and mouth. Shout out to the voice actress in the description. I took the voiceover into Adobe Audition and leveled out the voiceover with single band compressors and normalizers. Then I used a multi-band compressor to bring out the bass frequencies of the recording. Then I used the vocoder tool to accentuate the higher frequencies and make it seem like this recording actually came from a toy. I spliced the audio of the voiceover to better fit with the clips, nested the clips with with the audio and replaced all of the clips with After Effects compositions. In each composition, I used the pen tool to draw a mask around the mouth and both eyes, and then I used the clone stamp tool on the original video layer so that the actual mouth and eyes wouldn't be seen behind the animated ones. I used the puppet pin tool with Easy Ease keyframes to animate and synchronize the mouth movements with my actress's voiceover, and I used scale animations on the eyes to move them up and down and to dilate them. I also made a new shape layer with 2 ellipses to create the eyelids, and then pre-composed it so that I could animate a mask over both eyelids to make a blinking effect. For the window glass, I looked up free stock images of window pane glass, and I overlaid it in the After Effects compositions, setting the blending mode to add. Then back in Premiere Pro, I added a quick overlay of a screen capture of the musical memory game, added a fast blur and a lens distortion effect, repositioned and scaled it to fit on the opposite side of Mommy Longlegs in the timeline, then set the opacity to 40% and changed the blending mode to screen. Tack on some scary sound effects and the actual game music from Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, and I'll link that in the description by the way, and you've got a real-life Mommy Longlegs.
It's been so long. You weren't expecting to see Mommy like this, were you?
Y'all, 3 times a charm. Look at what we've created. Mommy is ferocious as ever. She's a star, just like Kissy Missy, so. And I gotta say props to Playtime Co. for making this doll with a posable skeleton made of wires. So it was really easy to pose her and get her set up for the shot, so thanks Playtime Co. Well, that does it for this video, returning to Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment down below. Also, please hit subscribe and hit the gray bell icon so you get notified whenever Dreamcorder Productions posts a new video. Again, thank you very much for watching. My name is Alexander Griffin, and I will see you next time.
From all of us at Dreamcorder Productions, we wish you and your family a happy and safe Halloween.